This week's episode, I'm going to do my best to remember to look into this tiny little camera up here. My name is Chelsea. This is my best friend.
Hey everybody, I'm Liz. This week we're going to take you on a tour to Belgium. Doesn't that sound exciting? We're also going to take a peek into the craft beer community, including Denver's favorite triumphant return. And Untapped's top beer style list. My bad.
Yeah, we're also going to go on a tour with Roby at Crazy Mountain Brewery in the heart of Denver's music scene, in the heart of the art scene. Everyone's been down on Colfax if you've been to Denver, and it's just a beautiful place with lots of great memories.
We're also going to explore some brews and bites. We'll unveil an amber ale's perfect pairing. And then we're going to close with that top 10 spring beer styles to refresh your palate this spring.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ale Academy. This week, we're kind of stoked because we're diving into Belgian-style beers. Yum. And apart from the fact they are delicious in some of our top picks, it turns out they're also a gold mine for keyword searches, because you guys want to know more about them. So we're here to, teach you up a little bit. You searched, we found it, we're making it for you.
And we noticed, you know what I mean? That's just a cool bonus. What really got us excited, though, is sharing these gems with you, giving you that virtual tour vibe without needing to pack your bags. It's really all about tasting and exploring the places these beers come from, right from where you're sitting. That's right. We hope you enjoyed as much as we did. Let's jump in.
Let's explore Belgian beer styles to learn and take a virtual tour. Chelsea and I have had the amazing opportunity to explore Belgium and even visit some of these breweries firsthand. We're mixing our own adventures and snapshots with a few gems that are historically significant to the beer culture.
Clearly, we are not currently in Belgium. Thus, our little beer explorers will be represented by some very beerlicious Liz and Chelsea's. But look how happy we are with our beautiful foam boobies. Kicking us off on this adventure, we're going to explore Trappist ales. We're going to go to 3 different notable monasteries, also known as abbeys, to talk about them. First one is Chimay Abbey in Hainaut area, Orval Abbey in Luxembourg, and Westvleteren Abbey in West Flanders. The mouthfeel of a Trappist is going to be medium to full. The colors varies widely, from golden to dark brown. Malt character is a rich, often fruity and sweet. But interestingly enough, often there's no fruits used. It's actually the yeast strains giving the lovely fruity flavors. Hop character is going to be, a little bit mild to moderate. Bitterness is going to be low to medium. All those malts are going to really help kind of offset that bitterness. ABV is going to be a lovely 6 to 10%, so get ready to have a good time. Some unique aspects about the Trappist beers is they're often brewed strong and with a lot of complex flavors. Local ingredients used in them is often the grains, and a lot of times they actually use water from the wells from the monasteries. An interesting historical fact is the Trappist destinations is protected, and there are only 14 monasteries worldwide that are authorized to label their beer as a Trappist.
Quadruple. Though it's not tied to a specific location, quadruples are closely associated with Trappist breweries. Most notably, the Westvleteren 12. Most quadruples have a full and rich mouthfeel. They are dark amber to deep brown. They are very rich with complex fruit and spice notes. Their hop character is low to moderate. Bitterness, low to medium, with an ABV of 9 to 12%. The quadruple is the strongest of the Trappist beers, rich and full-bodied. They use local ingredients, dark malts, and sometimes specialty sugars. A historical fact about the term quadruple was that it was coined by the Dutch brewery La Trappe to describe their strongest ale.
I was very happy to be touring over to the Lambic world, since they are my favorite type of beer. The origin of lambics is in Pajottenland, which is a region southwest of Brussels. The mouthfeel is light to medium. The color is pale to ambers. You can get a whole spectrum going on. Malt character is subtle, with little background notes happening. Hop character is going to be very, very low. A lot of times there'll be aged hops used for more preservation, but not necessarily bitterness, more just to make sure that because it's a lower ABV and that 5 to 7%, they need the extra hops to help it preserve and last longer. And the bitterness is going to be low. Unique aspects are going to be spontaneous fermentation with the wild yeasts. This leads to a very distinct sour taste and often flavors that you're not going to be able to exactly recreate again because they came from the air. Local ingredients are going to be unmalted wheat and aged hops. They're going to contribute to its unique profile. Historical facts coming up about lambic beers is lambic brewing dates back to the 13th century, making it one of the oldest beer styles still in production.
And now we're off to the land of Saison. Quote, "In a country where there was once more breweries than churches, you will find in Wallonia Lambic, Goes, Saison, Abbey, and Trappist, one for every mood. We're traveling to Wallonia to drink some Saisons." Specifically, we'll check out the Saison de Silly from Brasserie de Silly. Saisons are typically a medium to highly carbonated mouthfeel. They are pale gold to amber. Their malt character is moderate, sometimes with a slight sweetness. They also have a moderate and can be a spicy or floral hop character with a medium bitterness. Their ABV is 5 to 8%. A unique aspect is they're originally a seasonal farmhouse ale, and they are known for their fruity and spicy flavors. Oftentimes, varieties of local farm-grown ingredients, including spices, are of the local variety. A fun fact about Saisons is that they were traditionally brewed in the winter for consumption by farm workers during the summer.
For the Dubel, we're going to mosey on to the Westmalle Abbey in Antwerp. Monastery is going to be credited with creating the modern Dubel. And again, this could be a Trappist monastery. Mouthfeel of Dubels are going to be medium to full. Color is dark amber to brown. They have a very rich and dark fruit flavors for their malt character. Dubels are going to have low hop character and low to medium bitterness. Their ABV is going to be a little bit higher. It's going to be one of those good old beers at 6 to 8%. Some unique aspects about them is they're dark malty with hints of dark fruit. Yum! Local ingredients utilized to make these Dubels are caramelized sugar or molasses for sweetness and for color. And a historical fact for these lovely Dubels was the term Dubel was first used in the early 20th century to describe a stronger beer version.
Westmalle Abbey is credited with creating the first modern Tripel. Tripels have a medium and can be somewhat creamy mouthfeel. Their color is deep gold to pale amber. They have a noticeably sweet, sometimes honey-like flavor, and they have a moderate and balancing malt to their hop character. Bitterness is medium. ABV is higher at 8 to 10%. They are a strong pale with a balance of malt sweetness and hop bitterness. Local ingredients include light-colored malts. Some use sugar to increase alcohol without adding sweetness. Fun fact about the Tripel is that the name likely originated from the brewing process that tripled the amount of malt.
On the last stop on my beer adventure, I'm going to stop by the Hoegaarden in Flemish Bierbant to explore the Belgian white ale, also known as a wit beer. The mouthfeel of the wit beer is going to be light to medium and a very, very smooth. The color is going to be very pale straw to a light golden color. Malt characteristics is going to be soft, weedy, often with a slight creaminess to it. And it has a very low hop character, sometimes with a hint of more of like a citrus or a spice from its additives that's added into the brew. It's going to have low bitterness, relatively low ABV at 4.5 to 5.5%. Some of the more unique aspects about the wit beer is it's cloudy and light colored. spiced with coriander and orange peel. Some local ingredients being used, unmalted wheat and sometimes even oat. And we're going to hit you with a historical fact that wit beers nearly vanished by the 1950s, but it was revived by Pierre Celis in the 1960s. We almost lost the wit beers. It would have been devastating, but we didn't. Thanks, Pierre.
The Flanders Red Ale, found in West Flanders, particularly around the city of Roeselare, and most notably the Rodenbach Brewery. Flanders Red Ales have a medium mouthfeel with a tart acidity. They are reddish-brown in color. Their malt character is a sweetness balanced by sour notes. The hop character is low, and the bitterness is low because the sourness is more prominent. Their ABV is typically around 5 to 6.5%. What's fun is that they are a sour, reddish-brown ale aged in oak barrels. Often, local ingredients include a unique microflora of the region, and that contributes to the Flanders Ale's sour character. A fun fact about the Flanders Red Ale is that the style's aging process in oak barrels dates back to the 17th century, influenced by winemaking techniques. What a magical tour! Belgium offered us a variety of beer styles, each one more captivating than the last.
We sure covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and we didn't even have to spend an entire day recovering from jet lag.
And just like that, we've wrapped up our Belgian beer journey. Oh my God, crazy how much ground we can cover without even having to leave our seats. Huh?
Yep.
From those deep, rich Trappists to the quirky, sour lambic, it's been quite the ride.
Big thanks for tagging along. We dove into this topic not just because of some sweet search stats, because you guys wanted them, because we genuinely love these beers, and it was able to kind of reminisce, bring back some memories of our tours. And if you managed to learn a little bit, like, feel free, please make sure to subscribe for our weekly 101 lessons to boost your knowledge and confidence. In the meantime, like, let's quick shout out. What was your favorite part of this? I know mine.
Honestly, I'm telling you, it's just getting to go the tour here from my own little
Yeah.
seat. Like I love just going, oh wow, like visually mapping out where I'm gonna go for each beverage.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun creating this one, and it was really fun getting a chance to see what Liz would look like if she had big boobs.
I did not see that coming, and that's so good.
Thanks, logo. You sexy foam, you.
Oh my God. Just want to get right in that foam. But seriously, this segment.
Hard to wrap that in with you, but seriously.
That was so good. I was like, was she holding on to that the whole time, or was that off the hip? This segment was brought to you by the Microbrewed Beer of the Month Club, as it often is. Check out their monthly subscription below in the link. Honestly, every little bit helps, so it helps us keep bringing you great content, so make sure to check it out.
Welcome to this week's episode of Brew News. This week we're talking new beginnings and celebrations in Colorado craft beer. Discover Vine Street Pub's reopening, celebrate Colorado's craft beer triumphs on Untapped, and how you can join the permanent beer for special events. And what a great little brewery. There's lots of awesome stuff in here. Very Colorado themed, so if you don't care about Colorado beer, you can probably skip this segment. But if you do, this one's awesome. It's a good one.
That's right. Also, if you're planning to travel to Colorado, keep these in mind. As Chelsea said, an oldie but a goodie is finally reopening its doors. That's right. Vine Street Pub is going to reopen its doors on May 15th. There's a big change, though, in the way customers will pay. If you're familiar with the Mountain Sun Pub group at all, you'll know that they only took cash pre this, but they say that it's time to catch up with the times. They're going to start taking credit cards. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but good for them. So they closed in March.
Always happen to have cash. You know what I mean? It was kind of that nostalgic pain in the ass of going there, but like I get why they're making the leap. I get it.
I feel like you gotta grow. You gotta grow, and it's downtown Denver. I mean, everybody's like, "Where's my tap to pay? Tap to pay." This is the world.
My wallet, not just my phone. I'm kind of like, lame.
So posh.
Uh,
All right. A little bit of backstory. Vine Street closed in March 2020 due to the pandemic, but did begin brewing beer again in 21. It's a restaurant number 5 for Kevin Daly and the Mountain Sun Pub Group. So Daly said that he admitted to finally getting some strong leadership roles filled in at the Mountain Sun Group, and that he can now kind of disperse them out into the Denver area. Super cool for the patrons of the area that are excited for Vine Street to reopen their doors again. They're even going to put a full bar in, so it's going to appeal to a wide variety of pub goers. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's smart, especially for being downtown Denver. Have a little bit more variety, draw more people in. I mean, I get why in Boulder, within the bubble of Boulder, you can get away with some of the like the fun little nuances, like we said, with like not having credit cards. And you can just kind of get away with that stuff in Boulder that doesn't necessarily work in downtown. So I think it's really smart. I think they brought in some good people clearly that are setting them up for success. So best of luck to that whole group. And we had a fantastic time doing our blind stout taste test there, and the staff was incredible. And
oh my god,
can't wait to check out the new place.
Yeah, that's right. New old.
Recently, Untapped released the top Colorado breweries in their community awards. Hey, oh, this is super exciting. And I know not all the breweries are like huge Untapped fans, but there is something to say with the amount of data that they are ingesting and what they can like bring and show up. And it is cool. Like, we love it. It gives us great stuff to talk about. And we love talking about data specific points. So this is like right up our alley. But yeah, like being able to filter, clean through everything is just fantastic. There's a link in the description below to check out the top beers in your area. So according to the fine folks over at the Colorado Brewery List, which is one of the most incredible and Liz's favorite useful sites for research, you got to check them out if you haven't. There's going to be a link that you can get to them. They state that 14 Colorado breweries ranked in the top 3 of Untapped rankings nationwide in 18 different styles. So that's like not nothing, right? So we have 18 different styles, and there's 14 Colorado breweries that are in the top 3 of the entire style category in the nation, which is really, really cool. So really cool. Not a thing that you're going to see all the time. A specific shout out, huge shout out goes to Cohesion Brewing. Yes, we love them. And River North Brewing for taking home 3 of the top tier rankings. G-dang, guys. G-dang, that's impressive.
That is impressive.
We love both of them. I was totally at the River North's anniversary. Was it 10 or 12 year?
I think I was there 12 year.
12 year, yeah. I was at that. And obviously, we just did the interview with Cohesion. So great breweries right there. So shout out to everybody, but in our hearts, we're giving a little extra shout out to Cohesion.
That's right. All right. Guess what, everybody? Primitive Beer is back.
Yeah.
Not that they super went anywhere, but they kind of did. They took a hiatus. We read their Facebook post, and we thought that you should really get the 411 on where they're going to be. They're going to be having what they call a Howl at the Moon. Howl at the Moon bottle release at New Image Brewery, Old Town Arvada. If you haven't been, check it out. Marvelous. Every month where you can find a delicious new release or a cellar release from the Primitive crew. We're happy that they took some time. They're well rested, and they're taking their time to assemble their barrel house in Denver. And also, we're super happy that they're still making great beer.
Making great beer. They're such a cool concept, and they've been around, and I feel like been through the weeds, and they just kind of keep persevering in their own. I feel like in their own little style, and I love it. Like it's just, this fits their style. That like a lot of breweries would have been like, nope, this doesn't work for us. We're just shutting down, and they're like, we run with the punches. And I feel like they have that just roll with it kind of mentality, and it's just cool for them. I feel
like kindred spirits. They feel like kindred spirits. They feel like we relate in that way.
Yeah.
They're also alongside New Image. They're also going to team up with Social Dough Company for some fine and dandy pizza pairings. I am not missing that. I'm sure you're not going to miss that because that sounds delightful.
Here, baby.
Yeah. If you want to catch the
you try again? I'll say it again.
Beer.
Pizza beer, baby.
Very good. That was good. If you want to catch the full schedule of when these releases are happening and events, check out their Facebook page at Primitive Beer.
Yeah. And this would wrap it up, but Liz decided to miss out on what I considered a very important announcement in the beer space. So we're not going to quite wrap it up, but the Cicerone program was, I guess, finally purchased would be the way I say it. It's been up for sale for a little while. New owners, because we thought of this last minute. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. We'll get to that. We'd love to do an interview with them, kind of talk about what changes they see coming in. Maybe we'll get lucky enough that you guys will get to partake in that sooner than later. But talk about a thing I didn't even know could be up for sale. I don't know. It just seemed like it was a thing that was there, and I'm excited to see the changes that they make, what they do differently. You and I have gone through multiple levels of the certification program, so it's going to be
multiple.
We did the beer and then the certified. We've gone through.
Yeah. We're working our way through the certified.
Okay, I didn't say we're done. I'm just saying we've gone through. I'm like we passed. We forever to pass the beer certified one. I'm terrible at taking tests, but anyways,
the truth is we're terrible at test taking, but we'll get it done.
We'll get in there. Anyways, it's interesting to see what changes may or may not come up out of it and where it goes. So, like I said, hopefully we can chat with those peeps soon, the two guys that took it over, and see what changes they see. They've got to have some vision for it, right? And I said, it just was a thing I didn't even think about. And it's if someone would have come up and you want to buy this program, I'd have been like, I don't even know what I would change because they don't even have a vision for that side of things. So I think it'd be cool to hear what they're thinking. So first, that now wraps up our brew news. Now we get to start our sweet journey through Denver's vibrant music scene for an exclusive tour with Roby at Crazy Mountain Brewery. And it's not just a tour. They are so combined in with what makes Colfax this cornerstone, the music, the art. They're trying to intertwine it and this is the place you should go if you're going to an Ogden show. This is where you should be going to get a beer beforehand. They're going to personalize the experience for the show that's going on, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. But we're going to let Roby go in and talk about it. We're going to jump into our interview, and it's a beautiful thing they're making. I can't wait to see this place flourish.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you, guys.
We're really excited to get to know you a little bit better and get to know Crazy Mountain a little bit better. So, Roby, I'm excited to get this going. Talk to us about, in the heart of Denver's music scene, how does this location influence Crazy Mountain's vibe and offerings?
Well, I and AJ especially are big music nuts. My thing is live music. If I have expendable money or expendable time, live music is my gig. So to land in a job like this, at a location like this, being surrounded by all this live music is just a blessing for me. Doing everything we can to get more involved with the local venues, the local music scene. I think it's inspiring us to be a welcoming place for music lovers.
Oh yeah, I think you got a great spot for us, no doubt. What about blending that passion then for craft beer, local music, and the art scene, right?
We're just in the beginning, we've only been here since April.
Okay.
Definitely a part of our objective is making this a gathering place and a hub for artists.
Sure.
I have a lot of local music friends who have been supporting us through live shows, open mics. We just hope to create a vibe for people who love music and love the music scene here in Denver. Enjoy quality craft beer pre-show. I don't know if I'm
excellent.
answering that.
I think that's a great answer. And I kind of passed on that. So you guys have been here since April of last year, so 2023. Correct. Is this an easy spot to get into, or is it kind of difficult to get in on Colfax?
The spot was available.
Okay.
That's the honest answer.
Yeah.
The spot was available. It made sense for us. I don't know if it was easy or difficult, but it was available. and it
all
made
of that.
sense for what we're passionate about.
Yeah. Any parking troubles for people? Or
Yeah,
are they
the
mostly
parking here is
walking in?
definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not so bad down Ogden.
Yeah.
Parking is a challenge. So we do rely a lot on the foot traffic.
Sure, yeah.
We're doing our best to piggyback off the local venues, especially the Ogden.
Yeah.
And show nights are our best nights, of course, because people are here for that.
Sure. Let's walk in a little bit. So the general excitement then for this venue, this place, you've got the Ogden, you've got the Fillmore. Is that really like the big buzz about the excitement of the business model here then?
I don't know if it's
Thank
the
you.
focus, but it's definitely a huge portion of it.
She'll find her way.
You know, we want to be a community gathering place for everyone.
Sure.
I think in my career in the business, being welcoming to anyone from any walk of life is super crucial.
Amen to that.
I think there's some pretension and snobbery sometimes about the clientele. And I've always prided myself on being open to the misfits and open to the weirdos and making them feel at home somewhere.
Yeah.
But with our proximity to all the locations, I mean, the day I was interviewed for this job, it occurred to me that let's focus on the music scene. Not just for
Absolutely.
selfish reasons, but because of obvious, business growth.
Yeah, I feel like you're living the dream.
This is the
Incorporating
greatest,
all of those.
this is the greatest opportunity for me ever. I was working the burbs for the first 11 years of my life in craft beer, and I didn't realize how much I missed the urban environment.
Sure,
I didn't know how much I missed all the weirdos and the artists and the random folks that come in.
Totally different
So for
world.
me, this is just a huge blessing.
Oh my
and the
gosh.
guys give me a ton of rope to create the vibe here,
Yeah.
which is, like you said, an incredible blessing for me.
I mean, I think it's really great, and I think it's awesome. Did you get to put your hand in the decorating aspect happening here? I love this corner.
I started right away. I started
right.
tearing down stuff that didn't make sense to me. I started
That's awesome.
creating the vibe visually from day one. Like I said, I want it to be music-centric. I want it to be about music and beer and fellowship.
Amen to that. So if I were a person, I got tickets to the show, Ogden, Fillmore, doesn't matter. Why should I stop at Crazy Mountain before the show?
So first and foremost, whoever's playing at the Ogden, so far most of our partnership is with the Ogden.
Okay, sure.
And with AEG. AEG works with most of the venues nearby,
Yeah.
but specifically with our proximity to the Ogden, we've focused on that. If you have a ticket day of show to a show at the Ogden, you always are entitled to a BOGO beer here at Crazy Mountain.
That's a pretty good reason
We
to
will
stop
also always be playing similar music or the band that's playing that night, within reason, unless it's something we absolutely can't stand.
Okay,
But
fair. There's always going to be like that little portion that maybe
I love music.
doesn't
I
get to
love
come
most
inside.
music. I don't love all music, if that makes sense.
Hey man, you're human,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
right?
you can't love everything.
Yeah.
We try our best. I feel like that's fair. So you've got a diverse lineup of bands coming through. You've got a lineup of handcrafted beers. So how do you ensure each batch reflects Crazy Mountain's commitment to quality and innovation?
Fresh ingredients.
Sure.
Hard work. We're always milling moments before the brew process. I don't think we're trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Sure.
I think we are focused very highly on a quality, solid, dependable product. My big focus managing the place is customer service.
Sure.
I don't want to get away from the importance of the beer, but I think sometimes the customer service goes by the wayside at a lot of places.
Yeah.
And so my focus as far as managing the bar staff is definitely about service. What can we do to set ourselves aside from the other breweries?
Sure. Yeah.
So many places wait for you to come to the bar. I don't believe in that. If you got
If you
time,
build it,
go
they
to
will
the table.
come.
Go to the table.
Yeah, right.
Serve the people. If we
Yeah.
can set ourselves aside through service, I think that could really make a huge difference in what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. You know, that's always going to be the experience, how you're received when you're walking into a place.
Right.
Is it relatable? Do they even want me to be there? You know what I mean?
Right.
From a customer perspective. So you guys are working with a decently small system.
We are.
You know, we kind of highlighted that earlier, but so you're talking about customer service. How are you keeping up with demand then on a one barrel system and incorporating that good service when maybe it's flying out the door and people are like, but I wanted that beer. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a lot of work, and AJ, our brewer, works very, very hard just to keep enough beer in this room.
Sure.
A small system like this, I mean, granted, it's a Cadillac of small systems, and he's worked very hard. He's done all of this himself. He's built it all.
It looks great.
Yeah, he has to work very hard just to keep enough beer on tap. But it's a blessing and a curse. We can experiment a lot being on such a small system. And we have a direct R&D right there. We can make a very small batch.
Sure.
The customers can react to it in real time.
Yeah.
But that being said, he does have to work very diligently just to keep beer on tap.
Sure.
And with all transparency, sometimes I've got 10 beers on tap, sometimes I've got 4.
Yeah.
Just depending on how the week goes.
Yeah.
We have a lot of aspirations for upgrading the system.
Sure.
Currently, we're working on doing some contract brewing with a few different people just to keep the inventory up and make AJ's life a little easier.
Sure. Any flagships that you want to highlight?
Well, we got the Cult Classic, which is Lawyers, Guns, and Money, our barley wine, which has been around, I think, most of the entirety of the company.
Sure.
A really easy drinking, high octane barley wine. The people who find out that we are reopened and that we're in this location are super stoked when they find out we have Lawyers, Guns, and Money back on tap.
All right.
Mountain Livin' is a pale ale that's been a big standard for the company over its history.
Okay.
Hey June is our latest creation, which is going to be a dry juniper IPA. That'll be the first beer back in the retail market.
Nice.
Finishing up label design currently. And hopefully you'll see it on the shelves in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, wow. That's super exciting.
Yeah, but it's a dry juniper IPA. Again, I don't think, our goal is to reinvent the wheel, but it's a different concept. It's an interesting beer.
Sure. You let us try it. It was very good.
Yeah, people are loving it.
She's doing her thing. Let's see. We kind of went out of this space, but this is where you hold the open mic, right?
No, honestly,
on the other side?
We do the open mic by the front doors there.
All right. Well, let's cruise down the hallway a little bit. Talk to me about open mic. It seems to be quite a hit. What inspired the idea, and what's been the community response?
I've worked in retail, whether it be Midway, caricature, coffee houses, restaurants, bars, breweries, my entire life. I started, my first social place to hang out as a teenager, it was an old hippie-run coffee house. With a very big focus on live music. I think that installed in me very early. That was my introduction to open mics. I've run an open mic at every place I've ever worked, pretty much, if I could.
Yeah.
I've built a lot of local musician friends here on the Front Range. I have people who come to my open mic every week who drive 45 minutes to an hour just to come here for my open mic.
That's awesome.
I'm very lucky to have all those musician friends locally who've supported me and followed me to 5 breweries now.
5? Oh my gosh. So you've been around quite a while. How many years have you been in the craft beer scene? Bonus question.
12 years now.
12 years.
And just recently we've started to get some comics at our open mics, which has been a neat introduction. Which led us to now doing a bi-monthly comedy showcase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, it's been a big hit. It's been really cool.
I feel like there's more and more comedians, not saying I thought they were never not in the area, but I feel like, I don't know, it's in some sort of wave where there's
seems
more
to be
coming
growing
around.
again. I don't know.
Maybe there's more.
People need a laugh, guys.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there's just more cocaine again.
The weight of the world, people need a laugh. That's for sure. That's for sure. And it kind of, the first 6 months of the open mic were strictly musicians.
Okay.
And now with the introduction of some comics, it's been really cool. It's kind of divided up the night and made it a little more interesting.
So really the support then, Crazy Mountain, supporting local artists and musicians, is through that open mic platform?
So far,
So
I mean,
far.
I do live music a few nights a month,
Okay.
and then the comedy showcase as well.
Okay.
I think I see a trend with some of the breweries that they're doing less and less live entertainment.
Okay.
You
cool
know,
for that
it's
factor.
it's less expensive to It's
Yeah.
less expensive to rent a streaming concert than to pay a live musician. But again, live music has always been my passion. So whatever I
Bless
can
you.
do to support that in the area, you know,
Yeah.
whatever I can do to support live and local music is a big priority.
I love that. What a great spot right here. On
I think it's
Colfax.
serendipitous, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be. I'm not sure how else you could sum that up. Maybe that's what we'll title it, serendipitous. Okay, so you're supporting local music, artists, you've got comedians coming through. You definitely want to keep that platform through them. Anything beyond that, the broader Colorado culture and community that you want to
I want it to
touch
be
on?
open to anyone and everyone. I want it to be a community gathering place, but artistically, we've got tons of ideas. Drink and draw is a thing that I used to do at breweries in Ohio. Any creative endeavor I am open to, absolutely. And I want to be a place that maybe loses some of the pretension and is more of a community gathering place for artists and people to share ideas and their talents.
Absolutely. I love that.
I like to use the word fellowship, and I was discussing this with Mark and AJ. People have different places where they hold fellowship. I think fellowship in a brewery is just as important as in a church or whatever the gathering place may be.
Yeah.
So fellowship is a key big word for me.
Any memorable or one specific moment that sticks out for you that's taken place here so far at Crazy Mountain Brewery for the music scene, or?
So far, I get some of the artists will come in and drink beer. A lot of times I don't know that they're someone. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because I only know so many bands, right?
And-
more often I get a lot of the support crew and the roadies.
Oh, yeah.
A great story if I can tell it.
Yeah,
I
please.
had a drum tech for Buck Cherry come in and spend their 90s rock band. Spend most of the afternoon hanging out with me and telling me stories about being on the road.
I'm all lit up.
Yeah, exactly. Mind boggled by the opportunities that a drum tech is provided if you work for a famous band. So T-Bone is the guy's name. He's the drum tech for Buck Cherry, and he's setting up at some big music festival, multiple bands on the ticket. And Steven Tyler walks up to him and says, "Hey, I'm Steven Tyler."
Oh, hi.
T-Bone says, "Hi, I'm T-Bone." Of course, his name is T-Bone, right?
Yeah, right.
T-Bone says, "Well, what's up, Steven?" Steven says, "T-Bone, take care of your feet." T-Bone says, "What do you mean, take care of my feet?" Steven Tyler says, "When I first became a rock musician, I wore women's boots and all these extravagant clothes, and I ran and jumped all over the stage, and my feet got totally destroyed, and I became a drug addict, and then I went to rehab, and I almost lost my whole career. So T-Bone, take care of your feet." But so far, I mean, I've met a couple of big stars, but so far the majority has been a lot of the roadies. And
I mean, those are the guys and gals I want to talk to. Like,
yeah, it's been really cool.
Not that I don't want to talk to the
Yeah.
band, but I want to talk to the frontline folks.
Yeah,
Tell
it's
me
been really
all
cool. The
dirt.
people who
Tell
are
me
doing
all
the hard
shit.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great, and the stories are numerous. It's wonderful. There are good and bad things about it. Like often the tour buses park right in front of our building and block all our signage.
Oh.
And occasionally, point their exhaust right in the front door, and that makes for a rough day. But I guess you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
We have a lot of opportunities coming up, working with some of the bands to do some meet and greets, maybe pre-shows, cross promotion for giveaways and merchandise pre-sales. That's something we're very, very excited about working on right now. We're working with a band from Australia that is playing in May at the Ogden. Lots of things in the work, but there'll be an exclusive beer only available day of show. There'll be an exclusive run of cans only available for that day.
Really cool.
We're still working on the details, but might be a pre-show working on a couple of things like that, which we're really, really excited about.
That's super exciting. Oh my gosh. You get that one going and you'll have all the VIP parties.
I think it could be huge for
Hell
us.
Yeah. It absolutely should be. I love that so much.
Also, talk about an opportunity only available because you've worked on a 1-barrel system.
Oh,
There you go.
You can't do that on a 15-barrel.
well, you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that we have so far, in my opinion. But like I was saying earlier, you get that immediate criticism from such a small barrel batch. Makes it hard to keep up with beers on tap, like I said earlier. But also when we do have enough inventory, the sky's the limit as far as experimentation, you know?
Yeah.
The cost isn't huge. The waste isn't huge if something does go wrong.
Yeah.
So it's a
really
blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff with it.
Anything the craft beer industry is doing specifically that might be influencing any of how you strategize going about that? Or
Well,
you really
there's
just doing
obviously
your own thing?
a turn towards lagers and pilsners.
Yeah.
Which again, working with a small barrel system is tough because it ties up your fermenters for a longer period of time if you want to make lagers. But definitely a focus on, obviously you have to anymore, the hazy IPA trend. But definitely as we expand, we want to work a lot more with lagers and pilsners. It's the trend and you got to follow it to some degree.
Yeah. And it's so good. I mean, you get those two, right? There's your slammable, it's business time, right, or whatever. You can throw the
how many times have you heard, if a brewery makes a great lager, you know they're a great brewery?
Amen. It's true. It's
And,
foundational element.
Our Mexican lager has become a flagship that we keep on all the time.
An amazing name, by the way. I wrestled.
It's fun, right?
Ones,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a
Me too,
crowd
and I
favorite.
lost terribly.
Good joke.
Yeah.
It's been a crowd favorite. People absolutely depend on it now, so we try to have it on all the time. And you got to have that light offering, you know?
Are any of these that you want to highlight that are coming about? Oh, there's the luchador. Lemon pale sounds delicious.
Very excited about the lemon pale. I didn't even know it was happening until I walked back here and saw the sheet, to be honest with you.
Fair.
Dito's is a tribute to a dear friend of AJ's that is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Man.
A beautiful American IPA. Hop to It is quickly becoming a staple. Our General Hazy IPA.
It's delicious as well.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. I was having a hard time not just taking it down. So really it's a fan question at this point. We want to highlight you a little bit. How does your art and love for art, music, shine a light on Crazy Mountain? It's serendipitous, right? But it goes both ways. It can't just be you for them and them for you. Like, how are you shining a light on all of this beyond what we've already discussed? I think this is a great spot to highlight that moment a little bit further.
I can't help but make art. I can't help but be creative. In the role as taproom manager, there's a lot of spreadsheets and calendars and that kind of thing, which isn't necessarily my wheelhouse that I've had to learn to adapt to. And there always comes a point in the week where I can't stare at a computer anymore and I have to make something. So whether it be, adding some hype around the Hey June and creating this mural, advertising crawlers to go, working on poster design and advertising events, working on the label for the crawler or for the new can. There comes a point in the week where I'm just spent staring at a computer, and I can't help myself but, be creative. How does it influence? I think it influences the vibe of the place and creates a unique environment. I often will draw caricatures behind the bar if I have time. I want to encourage, like I said earlier, just, the creative hand-touched vibe. That's what I wanted to point out.
I love that, hand-touched.
I want it to be hand-touched. Yeah, we could hire somebody to paint a mural, or we could hire somebody to paint the logo on the windows, or whatever, but you got a guy on staff who can do it for you, and I think it brings a unique touch to it. I'm not a trained graphic designer. I'm a trained painter. So it's a hand-influenced touch. The Hey June label, for instance, could have been created in, Photoshop. But no, that's based on an original watercolor painting. And that's the plan going forward, is that the can designs will all be based around one of my original paintings. So it puts a handmade touch on it. A handmade touch. Anybody can hire some design firm, or you can have a handmade grassroots touch to your product.
I feel like oftentimes it's waitressing, it's bartending, but beer tending, it's definitely more low-hanging fruit. Any advice for anybody who wants to get into the craft brew scene?
Any advice?
Guys, gals, all of the above.
Before you do it, honestly care about people. Honestly care about the customer. Be welcoming to everyone in every walk of life. That would be my advice. And make customer service a priority in the industry. I think I preach that a lot. I want to see service not slamming anyone, I just want to see service as a big priority in the community.
Yeah, wanting to do it. Right?
Yeah, wanting to do it. I do this because I want to do it.
Yeah.
There are other things I could be doing, but
literally anything.
I enjoy this. I get criticism from my very conservative family about the choices I've made and the lifestyle that I work in. But I wholeheartedly believe in the community and fellowship you can create in this environment.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a demand for it.
Absolutely.
Someone has to serve it, but not as a means of need, but and I always go back to that want, right? I 100% miss being behind the bar a lot of the time because, one, I like serving beer. Why? I get to hang out with people like you or anybody who walks through the door and just have a random conversation. Maybe they just needed somebody to talk to, and I like being that sounding board, right?
And you never know what you might learn that day. You never know.
Literally anybody could walk through the door.
In my new role as a taproom manager, I'm behind the bar less and less, and it's kind of bittersweet. I have a lot of responsibilities to keep all the balls afloat. But yeah, I miss being behind the bar more. But it's a transition that I have to make in my career, and hopefully I can instill in my bar staff what I'd like to see happening or the way I would do it. So hopefully I can instill that.
Yeah. Well, I think you're off to a great start.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, totally. And what a cool leap for you to get to instill that and pass along that care and nourishment, intimacy, right? But now you get to take it to the next level, right? So all your other passions and excitement for life get to come to fruition.
Yeah.
All right, last question, but not least. If you could be any beer in the world, what beer would you be?
I would be
why?
Nosferatu's Imperial Red by Great Lakes Brewing in Cleveland.
Woo! Oh my God, I love that.
I thought about this a lot. My introduction to craft beer, at the time I was like a Heineken Rolling Rock drinker. And I rented...
I think.
I rented an apartment directly across the street from Great Lakes Brewing in Cleveland. I had no idea about craft beer. Obviously, went to Great Lakes Brewery. It was around Halloween time, and they make an Imperial Red called Nosferatu. My buddy and I had 4. Had no idea what we were into. I think it's 7.3%. This opened up a whole new world to us.
Oh, yeah.
And changed my life immediately as far as the profiles and what was really available and what a diverse palette of beers there are in the world. I'm a nut about Halloween. Oh, yeah. I love horror movies. I'm into that kind of thing. So yeah, Nosferatu Imperial Red.
I love that. Yeah. What an awesome answer to that question.
And my Cleveland roots.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I always think of, nope, I'm not going to say it because I can't think of his name. He does the Price is Right show now.
Oh, Drew Carey.
Yeah, thank you.
I've had a beer with Drew Carey.
What?
I have, yeah. Randomly at a bar in Cleveland.
Ohio.
And he was a great dude, yeah.
Right on. That's awesome. I've never been there, but it seems fun.
Cleveland's great, and we were talking about, being involved in the music scene here.
Yeah.
Growing up in Cleveland, I grew up, about 25 miles south of Cleveland, but Cleveland is also a ginormous music hub. So I got to see all the bands when I was a kid. Everyone came to Cleveland. And Denver feels like that. It feels like my youth in Cleveland because all the good bands come to Denver. So this is kind of backtracks me to my youth and being so readily available to all this live music is just such a blessing.
I love that. What a great story. Thank you
Yeah,
for taking the
thank
time
you.
to share with us, hang out with us, share some insight on you. Crazy Mountain seems like it's going really well. I can't wait to come back for a show, grab a beer again.
Thank you guys so much.
you.
We're really excited about the spring. Come hang out with us.
All right, that's a wrap on our tour of Crazy Mountain Brewery, right in the pulse of Denver's music scene. Huge thank you and shout out to Robbie for giving us the inside scoop on what makes this place tick. Incredible
human.
interview. Oh my
What a
God,
good human. You know what I mean? Like, we meet a lot of incredible people
Big
through this,
fan.
but what a person that just oozes with passion and just wants to see the love that he feels like manifest in the world. And he's just doing what he can to make that happen. And I cannot love that more. Like, such a great human. It was awesome for him to do the interview. Awesome story just hearing more about Crazy Mountain and their journey. So, don't forget to say hi to Robbie if you're coming on in. Like, share, and subscribe. And as we stated earlier, like, if you're coming down to the Ogden for a show, you're traveling into Denver, you gotta check out Crazy Mountain. The facility is beautiful. Their little single beer is just a blast. So it's such a cool concept, and check them out. They're doing cool stuff. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed anytime you go in, because I think it's gonna be new every time. Like, that's the
Yeah.
feeling I get, and it's just gonna be fun every time you go in.
That's right. I think I'm most excited for the music and beer collaborations too. Extra shout out to that. That's going to be super awesome as soon as they can tell us more information. But like Chelsea said, if you're in the area, you're going to an Ogden show, make sure to get to Crazy Mountain. Nice. Oh, sure.
I feel
I
smarter
feel so much
already.
wiser. Yeah. Nice. That's like 3 times you got me on like one show. Sorry.
All right, well, you're starting us off here, Lizzie.
That's right. Welcome to this week's Sips of Wisdom. If you're not feeling smarter, you should be, or you will be after this. Chelsea's going to take you on a magical mystery tour. Beatles pun intended.
Ooh, music themes. I see what you did there. So our fun facts this week are going to be around music and just the arts. We were vibing so much with that Crazy Mountain interview that we wanted to keep the fun facts rolling. Some are going to be really old, some are going to be a little bit newer. Like, it's just a good time. I love when you can like intersect two different like passions together. So hopefully you enjoy the sips of wisdom. Did you know that wit beers originally were a completely different beer than we know and love today? They used to actually be sour. They were wild fermented, and they actually had a very little window of when they would be served, because they wouldn't stop the fermentation. They would serve them while still fermenting before they would get too sour. But the beer itself nearly went extinct because of all of these little fine-tuned things that basically allowed it to be a wit beer way back in the day. But in 1960s, Pierre Celis re-brought the beer back, completely changed the style, put it in a much more stable yeast. Maybe it was slightly fermented, but that's basically dwindled out by now. Added the coriander and the orange peel that, again, we know and love today. But it's a completely different beer. And I've never had a beer that like you had to drink while still fermenting, so it didn't sour too much. What a goofy thing. I love it. Did you know that Orville has only actually brewed one beer, and their founding brewer was actually German, not Belgian? And one final fun tidbit that's kind of odd is that the monks themselves have never actually brewed the beer. Even though it is on a monastery, it just kind of started to help them raise funds, but they've never brewed it, which is odd. Or generally how that all happens. There are nearly 1,500 different beer types produced in Belgium, just based on different fermentation methods. Denver brews the most beers of any city in the US. Chicago has the most breweries, California as a state produces the most beer, but Denver itself produces over 200 unique beers every single day. The Ogden Theater was built
107 years ago in 1917. It hosts around 150 concerts a year. So if you do the math on that, that's over 16,000 concerts that have gone through that theater since it opened. That's awesome. Colfax was originally called the Golden Road. The name was changed to Colfax after Schuyler Colfax, who was a politician at the time in 1868. It's just under 50 miles long, which makes it the longest continuous commercial street in the U.S., and they do run an annual marathon there, because it's like 50 miles long.
Oh my god, wow. What a captivating blend of beer, music, and artifacts.
Yeah.
Not artifacts.
I see what you did there. I get you. You and your puns.
Not usually my cup of tea.
That one was all you. I think my favorite part of going through this is like it's combining those different passions, right? You have the fine arts, you have the craft arts, and learning how these two have intertwined between inspiration, passion, and necessity. It's fun. It's a weird place that I feel like it just shows where beer meets all sectors of the world, and I love that.
Bringing people together since the beginning of time.
Basically the beginning of time. Those poor people that didn't have beer beforehand. Poor people. All right.
Brews
Well,
and bites.
the brews and bites are coming in. Lizzie, get us kicking.
I can do that. Welcome to our little corner of the culinary world where we blend beer and food pairing and show it to you. Today's Brews and Bites, or this week's Brews and Bites, is all about catering to everyone at the table, as we do. Could be vegetarian, could be carnivore. We're serving it up. So this week, picture this, a crisp amber ale with its smooth, malty hug and a hint of hops meets two dishes, chicken and tofu. Tofu, the chicken of the vegetarian world, because pretty much goes with anything. All right, we hope you enjoy this week's Brews and Bites.
Pan on, induction on, 4, 5, in.
Oh, we did talk about hot.
Okay.
I do have a whole thing.
Bam! Barbecue, veggie-based steak. Shit, it's already hot. Yum! Sizzle. Cooking up my steak meat. You smell it, Bernie? It burnt oil again! It's already hot. Chicken! When you're cooking on a time restraint, ta-da! Salad. Look at me. Look at me go. You people that use way too much dressing, you're monsters. The chicken is cooked.
Today, we are pairing the Colorado native amber ale with a Caesar salad. And then I'm doing barbecue chicken, and Chelsea's got Korean barbecue tofu. Not a lot of why behind that, more along the lines, like she said, we had an idea. This is the idea we're running with. I think it's gonna be a really fun meal. A lot of complementary, a lot of contrasting flavors, a lot of big flavors, which we're super excited about. So we're gonna get into it at the end of the video. We're gonna discuss the pairing dynamics, and then we're going to go over our 5 senses and how the meal interacted with those senses. So enjoy the video, and we look forward to talking with you at the end of it and how this meal turned out.
Beautiful.
Sweet. Why did I end up with the shortcut?
Oh yeah, because the other one that was this size was chipped. Shall let's do a good meal. overly flavorful.
I don't know.
Uh-oh. Anyway, what can you do? Alright.
So,
What are we
you're
thinking
touching
here?
on your senses, right? How does it smell? How does it look? How does it taste? What's the mouthfeel? And then the sounds.
Okay.
So, I want to give like an overall rating. I think for me, this is, I can't give it an A because it's nothing gourmet, right? Like, I feel like to give it, no, you know what, I digress. I think I was surprised. I am pleasantly surprised by the pairing. For the barbecue chicken with the Caesar, I think overall, generally, between the complementary, contrasting, and cutting flavors, it's a win. Would order, hands down.
Okay.
What about you?
At least on the style of tofu meat that we have, I felt like the meat and the barbecue, went really well with the beer. The salad went really well with the beer. The barbecue and the Caesar, like, mouthfeel wise, fantastic together. But flavor wise, just didn't really nail it for me. Wasn't bad, but you can just tell by the color of yours. Yours has a very different barbecue flavor than mine does.
For sure.
But because this is like really chewy, and it's like a very chewy style, like to put it with the really crisp lettuce helped like pop it, make it really bright and crisp versus kind of like gnawing on like a piece of jerky.
Sure.
So that was great together, and the sauce that's on it actually did pair really nicely. And I really felt the Caesar popped the malts. Like our first drink, we were like, oh, this isn't like that flavorful of a beer. But once you got the Caesar in it, for me, like all of a sudden the malts came up because the Caesar salad was so bright and refreshing and tangy that it really popped the malts, and all of a sudden it did have a lot more flavor for me. So I thought those were really great. Like I felt like the beer made the meat better, the salad made the beer better for me.
Love that. Love that. So I think generally, for this meal, what I'd be looking for in the complimentary, just like you said, right? Like the beer complements the barbecue and the meat or the fox meat, depending on the spices. And then the salad, because it's such a stark difference to the flavors in the malty, caramelly amber, like the garlic and the perceived anchovy flavors just weaves right through those flavors, drawing out that maltiness.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the crunch? The crunch was great.
Yeah. So if we break it down from our senses, I think visually, I like the red and the oranges.
Yeah.
And the
Liz's was
green.
prettier.
It's there, but yours.
It's just darker.
Yeah, it's darker. It looks more gray to me from here. And
Yeah.
It could be the lighting in here.
Yeah. But the red was really nice against the salad.
Yeah. Smell wise, you get the nice, again, the malty notes of, the amber contrasting with the garlic, complementing the barbecue. I think that works really well. And then the taste, again, the caramel toasty malts complementing the meats, and then the salad drawing those flavors out. We said that already. And then the mouthfeel, right? This is light to medium body, which kind of helps the refreshing. This is more soft, right? With the barbecue chicken, this is more crunchy, and so I feel like the tastes are, again, this complementary, contrasting weave of, it works. It really works.
Yeah.
And then, generally the sound, right? You have this crisp crunch and then the almost deafening experience of a crouton, right? We've all been there.
Yeah.
So,
I could see with like a grilled chicken that really popping it too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think overall, would do again.
Mhm.
I think if you're looking to do an amber, barbecue is always a great option. But I think you should open your eyes and maybe your minds and your taste buds to maybe a Caesar salad with the amber as well to really experience that draw out sensation.
That was great together. Actually, it'd be fun to do it with. I want to try it now with like a heavier amber and see.
This was pretty light, yeah.
See if the brightness of the salad makes a heavier amber lighter and brighter because of the heaviness, or does it like really just pack all the flavor? Like the salad made this so much more flavorful.
Oh yeah.
If it's already like this heavier amber, is it just gonna be like overwhelming, or is it gonna kind of cut it because it's so bright? I don't know. But I think that would be fun to kind of try it out.
I love that.
Yeah.
And no offense to Colorado native, that's just a lighter
Yeah, it's not an insult, it's just a lighter amber. Like, it's just a different style of it, and it is a lighter amber. I'm sure that's exactly what they were going for, because, they've been around for a minute or two. Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, I call it a win.
Would do again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Liz, how delightful was that food pairing?
Yum.
Yeah, beer knows no boundaries, right? Can I say that better?
Good beer.
Beer knows no
Good beer.
Yeah, it's fair. But like, I think it was a great example of like more of the not comparison or the contradictory. I can't ever say the word. You always help me.
Contrasting.
There you go. Thank you. Contrasting with like the big heavy malts of an amber with the lightness of a salad, right? Like I think that's such a fun. I feel like we tend to side on the complementary, and this was a great contrast. So thank you for filling out my words, because for whatever reason I can't ever say that word. But I thought it was a great.
I didn't even
idea.
have that written down.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Not just here for the good looks and the snuffly nose. So, there's a great little pairing there. So whether you decide to like take these tidbits and take it on the vegetarian with the tofu, the chicken of the bean, or, jumping around and getting your coupon with your own chicken coops. I had a great joke earlier for that, but I don't remember it. And we hope one of these meals is like appeals to you and it's delicious. Like pairing a beer and a salad, I know isn't gonna like hit tickles everyone's fancy, but like
especially now when 80% of our audience is a male audience. They're like,
come on, guys, start eating them salads, boys.
Can we flash a scene here where Thor's mom is telling him to eat a salad? That might be more appealing to our male audience.
Eat a salad.
Come on, we gotta go.
Eat a salad, honey. Eat a salad.
Like I know exactly the scene.
I know. I feel like you do.
All right.
All right. So remember, this week's episode is brought to you by yours truly, the author of the Beer Pairing Basics book. If you haven't got your copy, please go out and grab one. It's worth a read. It's worth a flip through. Because if you found any part of this segment enjoyable, educational, every little bit counts. So check out that link below and buy yourself a beer pairing book. And you know what? Maybe subscribe too. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible way to support us. And Liz did such a great job on this book. Like, it's a double whammy. Like, if you are into food and beer pairing, you will learn something from this book. And you're going to laugh because Liz is a silly goober and it's great. So 100% recommend it and enjoy it. Like, just go for it. Like, it's not crazy expensive. It's a quick read too. You won't want to put it down. It's easy. It's a quickie. Liz and her quickies.
What I'm known for.
That's your name in college. I'm just kidding. We'll cut that.
Just a $2 hooker trying to make herself a $20 hooker.
The old quick hit 'em and quit 'em. That's Lizzie. Bing bang done.
Totally my MO. You wouldn't think so by that Swiffering technique. It's like I've done this before.
Looks like you've been domesticated for a long time.
Just yelled at a lot by my mom. Now my nose is running.
You missed the spot. I'm telling you, this thing's wicked.
I know. I know.
Wicked.
And,
All right. All right. Top 10 brews and
Hold
bites.
on.
No, keep picking your nose, and that's what we're going to air.
All right.
All right. Brews and bites have come to an end. It looked delicious. And, normally Liz and I like to do them together, but like we're apart. So, though we had some creative ways to do it, we thought it was just easier if Liz took her expertise on the road and chowed down on some food and taught us what we need to know. But within that, we are going to now keep driving down this road trip to our top 10. Nailed
Sounds good.
it.
Sounds terrible.
Guys. Nailed it. All right. Well,
Like
anyway.
a carpenter.
Like a carpenter. The top 10. Lizzie, guess what?
Chicken butt.
Tofu's knocking. Okay, spring's a knocking. You know what that means? It's time to refresh our beer selection from our lovely, lovely winter warmers that we had a great time with. And they gave us a nice warm belly full of beer. But now it's time for the spring flowers and a little bit of light, a little bit refreshing, a little bit of life. This week's top 10 is inspired by our falling out of love of the winter season and into beautiful spring.
Well, that's simple and to the point. Let's get into our top 10 beers to drink.
Ta-da!
Let's do it.
Number 10, Irish Red Ales. Its multi-sweetness, balanced flavors, and reddish hue make it a comforting choice for the transitional weather of early spring, bridging the gap between the hearty stouts of winter and the lighters of summer ale. And that's a perfect way to explain it, right? Like you're still going to get the flavor, but it's like a good baby stepping into the lighter beers of the spring.
You got to jump before you can crawl.
Is that how that works? Words of wisdom from Liz.
Ready, fire, aim. That's how that works. Number 9, the American Pale Ale. Still gotcha. This style, we think it's a hallmark. It's a balance between malt and hops. The hops often contributing that bouquet of floral and citrus aromas that tend to echo the blooming flowers and budding trees of the spring. Still can't see them yet. Still snow on the ground, but it's coming. Anyway.
It's coming. Number 8, we're going to hit on the Maibach. The Mai in Maibach translates to May in German because it's specifically brewed to celebrate the end of winter and the offset of warmer weather. It's going to be higher in alcohol content, provides a warming sensation for the still cool evenings. While its multi-sweetness and lighter color offers a little bit of a nod to the brighter, more vibrant days. So it's kind of like, I call it like your afternoon beer. Get a little buzz on before dinner. It's starting to cool down. You stay a little bit warmer, but you might still have the warm sun until the sun sets, and then it gets freaking cold real quick. At least it does here.
Yeah, there you go. Number 7, the Pilsner. It's crisp, refreshing, with a perfect balance of malt sweetness and hop bitterness. Truly, it's ideal for spring and light, flavorful, and it's going to pair well with all of your seasonal foods. Maybe a salad. Who knows?
Maybe a salad. Oh, I hope it pairs with the salad. I feel like I do like a good salad in the spring. Even the fruits I've been getting lately are just like, you can tell they're coming back into season. They taste way better.
Strawberries are in season. You got to be
good. They're so good right now too. Anyway, okay. Number 6, the Rattler. The term rattler means...
What's a rattler?
What's a freaking rattler, guys? Rattler means a cyclist in German. Drink was traditionally served to cyclists seeking refreshment in the spring and summer, while they're out cycling. The combination of beer and citrus soda makes for a thirst-quenching, low-alcohol, delicious, sugary drink that gets you all jazzed up to bike home. Or if you're doing any other activity, it really, really gets your wheels turning with sugar highs.
Really, it helps you finish sweeping the floors. Number 5, fruit beers and lambic. Springtime is synonymous with the blooming of fruits and flowers, and these beers capture the essence of all of that season by incorporating fresh, sometimes aged fruits. Lambics, they're often aged with fruits like cherries, creek, or raspberry. Framboise offers a complex sour and fruity profile.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
my
man.
French was not so good.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I feel like sours for me are like some like spring essential. It's just you want all that flavor and sit and sip on something. And because like you can
Bring me
sip
back
on
to
it.
life.
Well, and the sun isn't so hot in the spring, right? So like
Yeah.
they don't go so bad so quickly on the patio, and it's hard to slam a sour. Like so, it's like spring is perfect for sipping on a sour. That's what I mean.
Sipping on a sour.
Sipping on a sour. Number 4, we're
Sipping
gonna start
pretty.
sipping on a
Makes sense.
Kolsch. Oh yes, Kolsch. Kolsch is perfect for the spring because it's light in body, crisp, clean. It has a little bit of fruitiness. You know, it's a great spring beer. More of that like hot day, like get that refreshing, delicious beer in.
Hot day, Kolsch night.
Oh, that's lovely. I like that. Oh.
Number 3, the Saison. It has a lively carbonation, fruity and spicy yeast character, and a refreshing dry finish, making it an ideal companion for the renewal that spring brings. No longer is it death that you see, but a renewal in spring. You could probably cut that. I just kind of came out of me. My bad.
the southern drawl just came out of Liz there. Hey, Donna, do you want to say something?
All right.
All right, number 2, the old wit beer, also known as a white beer. It often is hazy, light in appearance, brewed with unmalted wheat, coriander, and orange peel. As we said, it's going to have a light body, citrusy, slightly spiced. And it's kind of just a reminiscence of spring and the fresh zest and bright character. Kind of like a good, not quite as strong as, say, like a Hefeweizen. A little bit lighter.
We didn't include the Hefeweizen. Some of you may want to. Not the biggest fan, so it doesn't make our list. But you're drinking one.
Well, because it was in the box, and I said I will drink. It's here. So it's
not number
it's pretty good. You what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's one from the box. It actually isn't as crazy banana-y as they made it come out. It's actually better than I was.
Oh, that's good.
And by better, like because it's not a style I like, and the part I don't like about it, their can was like it's really big on the part I don't like, which is like the banana and clove, and it smells more banana than it's like tasty. Maybe my palate's just changed. I also have like a slight stuffy nose, but like it's more mild than I was expecting.
That's good. It probably means it's good to have a Hefeweizen. I feel like some people just fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's still a lot of banana and clove in it compared to like some that I would say I would drink more regularly. But I don't drink Hefeweizens regularly anyways. But I've had some that almost taste like a runt, and those are awful. Those are disgusting.
Oh, you don't like runts?
No, I do, but not when it's a beer.
Fair. Unless it was a sour.
Maybe a sour banana.
Sour banana. Ooh. Ooh. All right.
We'll try it. Number 1
is the Goose. The Goose.
Goes.
This one has a unique combination. A little bit of sour, a little bit of salty, and when brewed with spring fruits, it becomes a celebration of new growth and renewal that the season often represents. It has that refreshing and invigorating drinking experience, right? You're on the patio, you want a refreshing, you want something because maybe it's a little bit chilly up, but the sun's shining in. You want to be invigorating. I like that little bit of sour. I like that little bit of salt. Takes me to the next stage of the day.
Yeah.
The Goes is the number 1.
The Goes is the way to goes.
Those are the spring beers you should be drinking for sure.
Yep. Yeah. It's a great way to kind of like kick off your spring and take it to the next level and get it just started. You know, the journey doesn't have to end here. end here. The journey doesn't have to end here. These beer styles are not just recommendations; they're invitations to explore. If you haven't had these styles before, and we'd love to hear kind of how these different styles or different styles you think of that remind you of spring. Feel free to hit us up. Let us know. Make us change our list. Let's go. Bring it.
There you go. There you go. There you have it. The top
Yep.
10 beers. They're going to make your spring unforgettable.
Yeah, see you on a patio with a lovely, lovely spring beer.
That's a wrap for this week's Body by Beers podcast episode.
Hey,
From Belgian beer explorations and Denver's craft beer scene to intriguing chats at Crazy Mountain Brewery, we hope perhaps maybe your curiosity has been sparked and maybe your beer bucket list has grown a bit.
and maybe you've learned a thing or two. Maybe we could be so lucky. But thank you for joining us this week. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Our subscriber count keeps growing. Like we're not at the 100, but we're getting close enough that we're gonna have to like make a point for this 100. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot of work to get to 100 subscribers, especially when you're not like out paying for them or like jacking up your numbers. Like they're genuine people that love following us, and we like that's mind blowing that we're even remotely close to a number that like of people that like listening to us and hopefully think we're funny and maybe kind of smart every now and then. So thank you so much. We love you all. And you enjoyed the show. And until next time, bye. Have some beer.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.